I couldn't see a single soul in the audience for the whole of that show. I want to see them. Andy, can you turn on the lights so we can see the people?
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Let's go out.
June 28, 2003, the date Radiohead performed and headlined Glastonbury for the second time, exactly 6 years apart. In 6 years, Radiohead would completely change their sound and likeness by combining rock and electronica through Kid A, Amnesiac, and Hail to the Thief. But in 6 years, in the same festival, on the same day, how much better can they do it again? The set starts off with bombarding drums coming from the likes of Reservoir, one of her most popular songs from Hail to the Thief. Colin Greenwood with his droning bass line accompanied with Thom Yorke's feedback-centric and folky guitar. As the song builds up to its bridge, the lights grow more ecstatic and flickery. And then, as the bridge unfolds, the band goes into a frenzy, the lights go wild, and the crowd hops along to the cadence of Reservoir. Personally, it's always been my favorite set opener from the band, and for good reason. We go into the next song, 2 + 2 = 5, the opener from Thief. Yet another song that builds into an intense climax. A rare instance where we can't hear the crowd during the build-up since Hail to the Thief was just released the same year. As the song climaxes, we see each member in their own immersion, especially Phil Selway, the amount of drum fills he does for the end of this song.
Are you having a good time? This next song we dedicate with love to R.E.M. who's sitting over there.
Who had played in the same festival a day before. Michael Stipe had actually sang Lucky with the band years prior in their OK Computer tour. Honestly, Lucky can pass off as an R.E.M. song, so it's really also fitting. They then play the national anthem, where the crowd really wasn't as hyped as I expected, and Talk Show Host, where Thom Yorke channels his inner Thom Yorke. Where I End and You Begin would be next, actually one of the more underrated songs from Thief and one of my favorites. Johnny's On Day Martineau combined with Ed's e-bowed guitar and Colin's groovy bass line is always a splendid combination, especially for this song. And the build-up to the second half of the song is so spine-chilling. Can't help but listen to it again. The next song is also really good. I've spoken much about my love for Climbing Up the Walls in my previous Glastonbury video, but to add a side note, this version has a much more explosive ending in my opinion, which makes it objectively better. The next song is The Gloaming, certainly one of Thom Yorke's eeriest creations, and I can see why he loves it so much. In this performance, he also channels his inner Thom Yorke. The ending of this song is quite similar to Myxomatosis, but instead of the towering synths, it's the insane cacophony of sounds created by Ed O'Brien and his mystical pedalboard. I love Ed. They then play No Surprises right after 2 of the most eerie Radiohead songs, which is kind of perfect. This is also where I've come to a grueling realization. The band looks like they're having fun. Tom's voice is relaxed like honey to a sore throat, compared to their previous set where you can really feel the anxiety from some of the band members, which is honestly also perfect for a song like No Surprises. But anyways, the next performance is Fake Plastic Trees, and this one's a little bit more special. A few years ago when I was at my infancy in consuming Radiohead, I was watching some live performances of them, one of which was Fake Plastic Trees from Glastonbury 2003. This was my first exposure to some of Radiohead's more emotional songs. Not that all of them aren't, but this one specifically made me understand the power of this band. From their quiet verses to that really enormous bridge and the soft and delicate ending with the crowd and Tom singing along. This was what solidified Radiohead for me as a band to listen to, and I'm glad I did. Anyways, 5 out of 10. In a not-so-twist of events, the next song is Sit Down, Stand Up, one of the more eerie and dystopian tracks from Hail to the Thief, and one that has a really catchy piano melody. At this point in watching the concert, I also realized something absolutely insane. I didn't want to acknowledge it, but there are no songs from Amnesiac in this setlist. Yeah, one of the biggest Radiohead concerts completely mitigates one of their more sophisticated and lavish albums. They could have played Pyramid's song like Spinning Plates or even Life in a Glass House. But no, sadly, we don't get such a privilege. And this is really one of the only downsides of this concert. Even so, they also could have played Myxomatosis or Wolf at the Door from Hail to the Thief, two tracks I really enjoy watching live. It is also surreal as fuck seeing people bounce up and down to the bridge of this song, and is an image that will forever be ingrained into my mind whenever I listen to this song. They then play Go to Sleep and Sail to the Moon, the former being one of the funkier tracks from Hail to the Thief, and the latter the vibiest one, rocking back and forth with the alternating time signatures and this absolutely beautiful guitar sound from Ed. I really love Sail to the Moon, and it also reminds me a lot of Disco Elysium. I also really love the ending where Tom goes into higher octaves in the piano, where we don't really know how far he could go. In the break, Tom makes a callback to Glastonbury 6 years ago.
Good idea. Hey, Andy. Remember that thing we did last time?
Here's 2 lines, here and here, off. Now.
They then play a song not really worth mentioning. I think it's called
Paranoid Android.
The next song after that is perhaps one of their most iconic performances, and one that you probably already know. Their rendition of Idiotech in this concert is an absolute amalgamation of chaos and comedy. Poor Johnny. It's still a miracle how he puts up with Tom all these years. Fireworks launch in the air fittingly as the crowd goes wilder in the noisy bridge of the song. Everything in its right places next, where Tom does his best impression of Freddie Mercury, but instead of leading the crowd with his voice, he just fucking emotes on them. The next 2 songs are Just and Karma Police, with the crowd being the loudest they've ever been. After the concert, Colin was also interviewed where he mentions this part.
What did it feel like up there tonight?
But it was great. Yeah, it was really good. But they were amazing when they sang the end of Karma Police. It was absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much to Mr. Michael Eavis. He's still running the best festival that exists, despite everything. Peace and love, and no more idiots in charge. This is called Street Spirit. Thank you, we love you. Good night.
And now, we've come to the end. Their last song is a fitting callback to their last set 6 years ago, and that is Street Spirit. This performance of Street Spirit, weirdly enough, feels so therapeutic, finally filled with no technical difficulties. As the song draws to a close, the crowd applauds and the band smiles back at them, playing one of their greatest concerts of all time. And that was Glastonbury 2003. Did you like it as much as I did? I hope so. This was one of my most favorite Radiohead performances next to Bonnaroo 2006, which I may cover in a future upload. The concert felt like an absolutely fulfilling experience, with most songs from Hail to the Thief. Sadly, there were no songs from Amnesiac, but we can't all be too picky, right? Now that you've made it this far, I will show you some Easter eggs I got from this concert. Radiohead's Glastonbury 2003 had almost doubled its attendance rate from its predecessor, with over 150,000 audience members compared to 90,000 6 years previously. This was actually Radiohead's third time in Glastonbury, the first time being in 1994, which honestly took me a while to find out, which also meant they played with Oasis pre-Morning Glory on the same stage. In this concert, there were also no songs from Pablo Honey. I don't think you really care about that. This part of the concert, Tom's spit comes out of his mouth. I don't know why I saw this, don't ask me. The final and most insane Easter egg I found was from a different performance in La Reservoir Paris 2003, where you can see one of Tom's armbands. Do you see it? Possibly jolted out of my chair when I noticed it. The schizo is real. Anyways, thanks for watching and go fuck yourself.